Thank you for tuning in to episode 2 of the Patch Podcast presented by Freedom Fueled. I'm your host, Spencer Conrad, with my co host,
Hannah Conrad.
And today we're going to be talking about stolen artwork. Now, this is one of the topics that we wanted to talk about and one of the driving factors of why we started the podcast. Now, we did some research and we talked to a couple admins on the situation, and so we have some ground rules pertaining to what is original artwork and what is stolen artwork. And as fate would have it, a story unfolded this week pertaining to the situation. So we will be discussing that and kind of dissecting it after we go through what original artwork and stolen artwork is. As a little CYA disclaimer, we are not attacking nor defending the creator or any of the collectors that had a problem with the situation. We're not going to be quoting anybody. We're not going to be using any names. We will be identifying what the patch was. So if you did watch the drama unfold, as did I, it was quite entertaining. But if you did watch it, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And if you didn't watch it, we're not here to fuel the fire. This is not TMZ for patches. We just want to talk about a situation and we like the real world example. So, with that being said, we're not attacking anybody. We're just dissecting and having a conversation.
So, going into original artwork, what are kind of the three things that you can look for the original artwork?
So, the three guidelines that we kind of work through with the admins is original concepts. What is this? Well, this is pretty much any generic stuff that you come up with. It's a lake, it's a military soldier, it's an animal, or it's a location or something like that. So that's original concepts. Second one is imagination or interpretation to a character or a subject, right? So for this, we'll use one of our patches. This was the proof that Tony Stark had a heart situation. So that is from Endgame, and I created this patch about a year after Endgame released. So it wasn't really a cash grab move. It was just something that I enjoyed and I wanted to see on my wall, and at the time, something that I wanted to wear on my uniform. So I didn't want to pull it. I didn't like I liked the sentiment of it, but I didn't like how it looked. So I changed a couple things. I changed the round arc reactor to a triangular arc reactor. It's the one from Iron Man 2. We don't have enough time to divulge how much of a Marvel nerd I am. But I prefer the triangular arc reactor. So that was my baseline, is I was going to make this proof that Tony Stark has a heart, but I'm going to use the triangular arc reactor opposed to the round arc reactor. I also wanted to create a piece that spoke to the character without being the character. You can walk by the wall and know damn well that that is Iron Man. And that's kind of what I was looking at. So the original prop in the movie has a silver ring around it. I changed mine in the artwork to a gold ring. One of the cool things is when people show us their Iron Man displays or post it on the community, ours always pops because it's the only gold one there. It's also the only one that's triangular. So that is just an example of imagination and interpretation to a character or subject. Baseline number 3 is a spin on a subject. So a great example from this is from the creator of Savior's Patchworks with his Scully line. So wave 1 was 3 characters. It was Reverse Flash, Flash, and Zoom. And so why they're called Scullies is because they're scullified versions of pop culture characters and copywritten material. So he changes the name to kind of go with the Scullies, and so he called them Flashy, Reverse Flashy, and Zoomy. And I picked up a few of them because they're just badass patches. But anyway, that is a good example on the spin on a subject kind of thing, and he's kind of continued that line of scullified versions. Now, moving on to stolen artwork, you kind of got 3 basic ones. So, one, Google copy, right? This is just Googling an image. Let's say patches have to be somewhat simple. So, I want a beer bottle patch. So, I'm going to Google beer bottle. I'm going to Google beer bottle clip art. And this is where it gets a little dicey, but not really. So, most clip art is made to purchase. So, it has this little thing called a watermark. It's either a logo or a name that's put what is that, transparent, so it's on your image, but you can still see the image through it. Now they usually want $5, $10, $12, whatever, for the design. Once you purchase the design, you get a link. You can download the image without the watermark. That's kind of how they protect you from stealing their artwork. So if that's the case, you're in the clear. You purchased it, a transaction was made, it's fair use, you're fine. If you pull it, um, and you, leading into our second thing of photoshopping, if you erase, change the opacity, there's multiple ways to manipulate an image. So if you do this to remove the watermark without paying, it's stolen. But again, Google image, if you download something and you create it into a platform and you do not alter it originally. So, okay, well, I'm going to pull image A and I'm going to pull image B, and then I'm going to throw them both on Photoshop, and I'm going to sign my little name on the corner, and maybe I'll add some lightning effects. You're not a compositive artist. You just stole Google shit and you smashed it together.
But another aspect of photoshopping is tracing.
Right.
So when you download the Google image, let's say you like somebody's artwork and you want it to be yours, but you don't want it to be exactly theirs because then somebody might know. You're going to take it, you're going to put it into Photoshop, and you're going to trace it. Still stolen.
It's still stolen artwork with extra steps.
Right.
Right. So those are kind of the three things of, and this is kind of what the admins have talked to us and we've worked through. If you make a patch and I can Google said character and that artwork pops up, like these guys are intense. So even if like it's web page 5, they'll still look.
And then they'll be knocking on your messenger.
And they'll be like, you stole this, blah, blah, blah. They are hard asses, and we appreciate them as creators because they're trying to keep the community in more of a pure creative stance and not a bunch of spam bot, eBay, Amazon bullshit morale patches that aren't yours, that are stolen, all of these things. Another huge thing when it comes to stolen artwork is cloning. So there is an individual that I worked with when I first started in patches, and he does primarily motorcycle patches. So they're embroidery patches, but they don't have the hook and loop on the back.
The iron-ons.
And so one of the things he's notorious for doing is he just pulls Facebook images. If he sees a post that he likes, he copies it, and then he sends it to his guy, and he patchifies it, and he makes it a patch, and this is how he runs his business, right? I'm not judging, but if you want to be in the collecting community, there is a reason he's not in the collecting community. And it's highly frowned upon. As back in the dark days, we found out. Another aspect of the stolen artwork is somebody put time, effort, and money into creating this, and you're the dickhead who stole it. Another conversation I've had with a friend of mine named Sam Johnson. He's more in the airsoft community. But so he does a lot of stuff in 3D printing. And when he does 3D printing, it runs on a CAD file. He's explained this to me because he's a huge nerd and he just knows way too much damn information. And some days I'm just too stupid to pick up on all of it. But from what I understand with 3D printing is you use a CAD file and you have to create the 3D model, and then the printer will print. Now, if I make it and then I share the link and make it open source and you print something, that's fine. I made it open source. It's available to the public. Now, if I make a creation, whatever it is, and then you remake it, you copy it. Sam says there's nothing wrong with that. You put forth the effort, and so you, by golly, you deserve it, right? In 3D printing, in that we understand it, but in patches, you're not molding, you're not recreating something. You are, I mean, what he's talking about is mostly tracing, and in the patch world, patch game, tracing is just a no-go. So his, well, you worked hard for it, so you earned it concept just doesn't fly.
I mean, as creators ourselves, we have an artist that we pay to make things. And so if we were to stumble upon a post that had our artwork that they were selling or they were making things with, we'd be a little miffed because we spent, so much money paying our artists, and we've put the time and effort into thinking and all this kind of stuff. So it would just be like I said, it would be not heartbreaking, but like very irritating to see ours getting stolen. So, as a general rule, we try not to steal others' artwork.
Right, and the community is to the point where they're not having it. Right, so if you're a cloner, uh, don't join the community because we're not gonna like you. But anyway, so that's kind of the classifications of original artwork and stolen artwork. So getting into the story, the creator of these Goonie patches uh, dropped it, and it's unaltered artwork, plain and simple. You look at the classifications we just presented you, and if this is a court case, he's 100% guilty, and no jury will deny it.
Right.
So he didn't alter it. I can't tell you if it's pure Google copy or if it's traced. It has to be one of the two. There's no color correction, there's no alterations in the slightest. So he just copy and pasted.
And people immediately got up in arms. They were in his comments as fast as they could, because he didn't alter anything. And so, he claimed that he wanted to leave it unaltered because of sentimental reasons. People grew up with the movie and he wanted to have it exactly
Preserve
like
the
that.
nostalgia.
Exactly.
The problem is that that's a really cute excuse for saying I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And so the community had a problem, and one of the collectors that came after him said, I won't be getting this patch because I only collect original artwork. And so the creator came back with, show me a picture of your patch board. And so the collector sent a picture of the patch board and said, here it is. And then the creator came back with, bullshit, you have copywritten characters, blah, blah, blah. That's not all original artwork. I'm in the clear. We just went under what original artwork is. We're not talking about generic uncopywritten characters. It just has to be your own. You have to spice it up in some aspect and add a little flicker in the back of on photoshopping a Google image is not spicing it up. So the creator is incorrect in this situation, and the collector is correct in the fact that he is only collecting original artwork as defined by the community.
Right.
So that right there is kind of the nutshell of original artwork, stolen artwork. He's in the wrong. He stole the artwork, and so we understand the reasoning behind it, but the worst things in history were done with the best intentions, and the community is correct in the situation that he stole the artwork. Now, part 2 of this story is the fact that he originally promoted these as limited edition, only made of 50.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's this thing, we call it reprinting, but PVC patches are made by a mold. And so you can purchase the mold, and once you purchase it, the mold is yours. So if you want to make, you purchase the mold and you make 50 patches, you sell out of your 50 patches, and then you reprint, that's completely fine, right? You already have the mold, make your money worth it. Tons of businesses do it.
But as soon as you stamp on the words limited run,
special edition, anything like that,
then you're kind of just, that is it. That is capped. You're not supposed to make anymore because that is the whole point of a limited run. Those patches, for example, we have the Iron Man patch that we were talking about earlier. So we made them in a special edition glow in the dark. So we made them 15, I believe. And we sold out that day. It was amazing. We were so excited. We had a bunch of people commenting on our post saying, "Oh no, I missed it. Oh no, do you have any left?" And we were like, "Oh no, we should have made more." But being collectors and being creators, we knew that, the second we go back on our word and we make more, we're devaluing those people that just bought the 15. And because there's only 15, they're incredibly,
it makes them more valuable, and that's the whole point of the buying, selling, and trading aspect of it, where if it's limited and then they're sold out, well, now the one that I have has value, and thus the collecting game that we all love and
participate in.
Yeah, exactly. Unfolds, right? So, oh, it's limited edition and everybody likes it and there's cash on the table. I'll just print up 50 more. Fuck you. Sorry, man, but that's my opinion of the situation. And the creator said that he was going to Well, originally he said limited to 50. Then he made the repost that we started following, and he said limited to 100. A collector commented and said, "What the hell happened to 50?" He said that it was always 100. So then the collector came back with, "Here's a screenshot of your post like a month ago saying limited to 50." Then the creator backpedaled and said that he was always planning to reprint them and that it was okay and blah blah blah. And the collector came back with, "Uh-huh." And so, again, we don't want to attack the creator, but this one pisses me off personally because of that Iron Man situation. Like, I could have easily reprinted 20, sold out, made a bunch of money. But you got to have morals. If you're going to put special edition, if you're going to put limited edition, own up to it. And I get leaving cash on the table. We've done it many times. That's another thing we struggle with in our business of when we quote something, we pay. We charge you that thing. So if we tell you X amount of money for patches, and then 2 weeks later we hear that material costs are going up, we bite the bullet and lose a little bit on our margins because we don't like to go back on our word. Mm-hmm. So we are very adamant about doing what you say. So this one rubbed us the wrong way. Yeah. But anyway, that's the story in a whole. Kind of went on the tangent with the limited edition, but kind of made around mostly. So that's kind of what stolen artwork is. It's kind of what original artwork is. Again, this is an open discussion. Comment what you think. What is original artwork? What's stolen artwork? What's your opinion? I'm not very interested in the who's in the right, who's in the wrong kind of thing. Like we said, we're not trying to slander anybody. We're just using this as an example. But comment. We'd love to continue the conversation in there. We appreciate all of you who like to listen to our conversations. We drop these on Tuesdays. This Thursday, we will be rebranding our website. We have a re-release of that Iron Man. So we are done with that mold. We have 50 printed up, and then that will be it. And these ones come with fancy dancy packaging and art cards. And so they'll say limited run on them. And then we're releasing Laser Baby, which came out like a month ago. And so he's getting released with an art card now. And then moving forward, most of our collectible patches will be moving with a art card. So on that, also Thursday, we will be re-releasing those guys, and we'll be dropping R2D2 and Lola. So Lola, Hannah.
Lola is my favorite little character. She's so cute. If you guys watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, she was Leia's little companion. So she's a little robot. She hovers around and very cute, like I said. So our patches, we're going to release them as Ranger Eyes. And if you watch series, you know that during the end of the episode, series, whatnot, she actually got hijacked and turned quote unquote evil for a minute. And the blue light that goes behind her eye turned red. So we're going to have the two little Ranger eyes. We're going to have the evil Lola and the regular Lola. And they're going to be 1-inch patches. They're very adorable. And then we're also going to be releasing the R2 because we're kind of doing like a daddy-daughter droid edition kind of thing. And the R2 is pretty much true to size compared to Lola. So he's going to be a 4-inch patch, and he's very cool.
Yes, I've got to say, I can't stop staring at this patch. He's got such detail. And the color scheme on him is pretty badass. So we're pretty proud of these guys, and we're excited to drop those Thursday along with the rebrand of the website. But other than that, comment if you'd like anybody to be on the show. As far as a creator or a collector, we'd love to host them.
So if you yourself want to be on our show.
Exactly. If you yourself want to jump on, just slide into our DMs and let's start a conversation. Other than that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. This is episode 2. Episode 3 will be coming out next week. We're still planning on the schedule of dropping these on Tuesdays. And hopefully in the next week or so, once the website rebrand is done and things calm down a little bit on our end, we'll be getting this podcast available on podcast platforms. As of right now, it's staying YouTube exclusive. Mm-hmm. But without further ado, I think we're going to sign off. So thanks, guys, for listening. Leave a comment, leave a like, share, and we appreciate your support.
Talk to you next time.